All right, so next, joining me on stage to talk about the new Cloud Data Services business unit is IBM Director, Worldwide Cloud Sales of IBM Analytics, Matt Kosinski, and also joining us on stage is President and CEO of a great business partner, Smart Connect Technologies, Ken Crittendon. Come on up, guys. How are you?
Sure.
Good to see you, Matt. You're going to be up here again lots today?
Of course.
So Matt, just as you're sitting down, I'm asking you a question. Describe the function of the Cloud Data Services unit.
Absolutely. First off, thank you for all the rugby talk, but I'm glad you didn't wear shorts, so I appreciate that.
Yes, me too.
So Cloud Data Services is one of the newer units within analytics. We announced it in January. The work obviously started well before that. Where we added, through the acquisition of Cloudant, which is a NoSQL JSON store, which we'll talk about shortly, we started to see a change and a shift of how our customers were consuming big data technology.
Right.
It wasn't just about improving operations or cost reduction. It was about data. It was about data for insights at the line of business, right? And that, Bob talked a lot about that earlier, but what was even more important is the delivery model and how they would get that insights. So there was demands for immediate time to value, quick provisioning of this capability, right? And quick provision of the capability, but then in addition to actually provisioning the capability is being able to deliver it in an OpEx-based model, which became even more critical. And then lowering their risk as we're encouraging them to innovate, right? Which is really important. And so out came CDS, which is really focused on rich integrated data services around content, data, and analytics, leveraging the wealth of technology and people expertise that we've had for years in our on-premise business and extending that to the cloud.
Right. And I was mentioning to you offline as we prepared, I've been to some conferences, the competition's saying all sorts of things. What you guys have compared to the competition? How would you frame that?
Oh, Darren, you know me too well. This is a setup, isn't it? I won't use names, but what I'll say is...
Probably a good idea.
When we looked at this, integration was critical, right? So there's a lot of competitors with a sea of services, but they're very siloed, right? And integration is key, not just integration in the cloud services themselves, but especially with our business, integration from behind the firewall into the cloud.
Right.
That became critical, right? Our integration strategy isn't dump everything in an object store, point your guys at to figure out how do you get into the next service, and 48 hours later the data's there. Our strategy is really about things like data prep and movement with our DataWorks offering, which we'll talk through. In addition to that, if a customer wants to use ETL to move from their on-premise to the cloud, great. We have capabilities like Fluid Query, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But that was such a focus of our investment because it's not just about standing up siloed services, but allowing you to move the data seamlessly between the services. So that's number one. Number two is the consumption model choice that we've given. So every cloud vendor allows you to go from free to pay based on consumption, but where we differentiate is for some of our larger enterprise customers or even mid-market customers that for their production environments, they demand a dedicated environment for security, performance, not just raw performance, but performance consistency. They demand that, and we have that, and no one else does. And then lastly, I would say hybrid, right? We're uniquely positioned.
That's something we were talking to partners about last night at the business partner reception. A lot are still trying to figure what hybrid cloud means. So what's your take on this and what IBM offerings we have?
Was this before or after you did the beer shaken, not stirred?
This was before, because then I had to leave.
Okay, cool. So yeah, on hybrid, it speaks for itself, right? We're the only vendor in this space that actually has the robust portfolio on-prem in the cloud. So from our perspective, we don't care as long as they're using our technologies and we're helping customers to see the best use case. So I'll give you a really good example. When I go into a discussion with a customer, they always have data behind their firewall, right? So it's all about how can we take that data and extend it to the cloud to give more business value to your users and your customers as opposed to a rip and replace strategy. It never works, right? So we've really differentiated there, and combined with the integration investments that we made, where we have customers, one great example, a financial services customer, a CTO, brought a problem to me, and he's a big Netezza user. He loves the value of Netezza, MPP, higher order analytics. It's critical to him running his business. But this CTO has a team of data folks and a team of application developers. And only the data team was getting the value out of Netezza. So simply by putting something like Cloudin as a persistent data store at the edge in the cloud, he was able to take a subset of Netezza data and give it to all of his app developers through API consumption, right? So he became a hero. I helped him do it in a couple weeks because we spun it up and sent a few guys in, which was even better. Yeah. But that is the model, right, from a hybrid perspective. It's not just, Netezza and Dash, which we do a lot of, or Cloudin local to Cloudin managed service, but it's even complementary offerings, and it's all about moving data closer to the edge to increase business value.
Make it useful for the customers, users, right. I'm glad we got the chance to talk about cloud today in an analytics conference. It's obviously a big deal. At IDC, we're just seeing huge momentum for cloud, so I thought I might show you guys and the partners in the room just some of the stats where we're going. We think that greater cloud spending will exceed $500 billion by 2020. Just let me give you a little definition, because definitions are important, especially to analysts. That's going to include your SaaS, PaaS, infrastructure as a service, plus all the cloud professional services, the managed services, and all the supporting IT products to bring that together. So that's a big number, and that's a big upgrade from the last number we came up with. We think that by 2018, nearly 27% of all software revenue will be subscription-based. And if you add that to maintenance, we have a huge part of the software industry that's already in recurring revenue. And I think an important one for you guys, we predicted that by next year, 70% of CIOs will embrace a cloud-first strategy. That doesn't mean they'll go cloud in the end, but they'll be checking out those public cloud options first. So I thought that was interesting just to perhaps bring to this.
Absolutely.
So we've always been talking about how important speed is to bringing new applications to market. Ken, let's get you on this conversation.
Right,
Can you describe your company, Smart Connect, and tell us a bit about how you began your partnership with IBM?
Sure, would love to. So Smart Connect is an industrial IoT company that sells data automation analytics. We're small, we operate mostly on the West Coast. We had the opportunity to meet IBM last year at the Bluemix Garage meetup, where we were looking for cloud analytics technology to work with our GPAC system sensor data.
Very cool, and I know offline you told me about this cool bus solution you guys came up with.
We got a
great
cool bus
IoT solution.
Yeah, we sure do. So we're engaged with Golden Gate Bridge Transit, and their bus division is razor focused on improving on-time performance, and they're putting in place an early warning system that is a combination of, actually an awesome combination of Smart Connect's technology and IBM's Cloud Analytics. So our technology focuses on picking up sensor data from the buses, and then we leverage the Wi-Fi networks that are on all the buses. We bring that data into Cloudin, aggregate it in Cloudin, and then pass it on to DashDB and Watson Analytics for insights.
Very cool. So
we were able to partner up with IBM Sales, and I have to say, they're nimble and fast. And so we won this deal. It was great.
Cool. Very, very cool.
He's my James Bond.
There we go. I thought I might have, never mind. How did your team, Matt, help Ken quickly develop the proposal and get the proof of concept out?
Yeah, great question. So I would call him the modern business partner, or you said the partner of the future. Like, yeah. There are partners taking advantage of your future strategy now. And Ken's one of them.
Awesome.
Ken, I didn't know Ken, and my team didn't know Ken until halfway through his sales pursuit, which is what we need from our partner community around leveraging tools. So in this particular case, he saw the value of Bluemix, and specifically Cloudin and Dash within that. Free, multi-tenant, ability to quickly do rapid prototyping, do functionality testing. Guess what? I didn't know Ken then, right? He was adding value. He was directly engaged at point of impact with the customer. He saw a problem, tons of sensor data, no valuable insights because no one was collecting it, right? Yeah. So in that particular case, when Ken engaged with my team was later on in the process where he said, hey, here's the opportunity, we've proved the value, there's a compelling reason to act, we've done functionality testing, we've built our app, but you know what, Matt? I could use your help on some JSON skills on Cloudin, and I need a dedicated environment because now we want to test performance and scale. Yeah. Awesome. I said, bring me more, bring me 10, right, Ken? And he just executed flawlessly. He's the partner of the future. Control this yourselves, right? Be proactive, use the tools that we've given you, and then come later. Will help us scale, and it'll help you guys be more successful.
We just had Back to the Future Day a couple days ago. You saw that in the news? So here we go. We've got the guy from the future. So Ken, what recommendations would you give out to the business partners here today on how to grow their businesses with IBM Analytics?
So definitely don't be afraid to target the business buyer. This strategy works. put IT in a supporting role, and then leverage what IBM's doing in the cloud with the pre-integrations. They're absorbing a lot of the complexity, and business buyers are really happy to be able to purchase a technology and purchase a solution that solves their problem without having to run through IT and IT pipeline and the delays that are concerned there. Using Watson Analytics as a door opener works. So partner with your clients, encourage them to go out, sign up, get a subscription, identify data that's meaningful to them, get that data into Watson Analytics, and start collaborating and start visualizing that data, and ensure that you can start down that path of analytics with that client and gain the insights that the data really can reveal, and just push those business decisions to the nth degree. Last but not least, consider adding a team member to your team that's got an entrepreneurial skill set that can go out and help you grow your cloud business.
So line of business buyer is important.
Yep.
Watson Analytics, great door opener, and consider hiring someone entrepreneurial to your staff.
Yeah,
Gonna
absolutely.
help. So
that can go out and talk to those customers.
this is great. So I think Uber's in trouble. Buses are coming back. I think this is big. All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me on stage.
Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. And we'll see you later, Matt.